Why are you here? Who are you? What is your why? What are your gifts? What are you doing with your agency? Now, how many of you guys feel like you know your why? Like you know why you're here. You know what your gifts are. For me, I kind of had to rethink a lot of this because I grew up Mormon and I believe in the Mormon faith, and you get married and you have children. That's just what you do. That becomes your purpose. So I'm 43, I've never been married. I had to figure out what my why was. And the greatest thing ever is I know what my why is. I know what my gifts are. One of them is to help save kids' lives. These kids that I get to work with, they are my why. They are why I get up every day and work hard. Working with celebrities can be fun and not so fun. Like, it's very challenging. But I know why I'm doing it, and that's why it kind of becomes easy for me. And then a year and a half ago, I was speaking on stage at Miss America, and probably to a couple thousand people, and I turned around and I walked off the stage, and I was so excited because in that moment, I knew that's what I was supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be speaking on stage and inspiring people because in my life, I've had a journey for 25 years with anxiety, depression, OCD, addictions, body dysmorphic disorder, eating disorders, you name it. I feel like I've kind of struggled with it. And you know what? I have an amazing life. I have all of these challenges over here, but I choose to show up every day. Those things do not have me at all. They don't. They're just this little thing over here that gives me something to speak about. I'm so grateful for my body dysmorphic disorder because I want to help people suffer less. I know what suffering looks like, and everyone in this room knows what suffering looks like. Everybody has their own flavor of suffering. You know, what flavor of suffering, are we choosing? For me, I'm like, have all these crazy little things over here that I've been choosing, but that's my why. Do you know your why? Do you know why you're on earth? Do you know what your calling is? And are you honoring your calling? Because that's what it's about. And I just want to give a shout out to my amazing friend, Dan Clark. For those of you guys who don't know Dan, he's a very famous motivational speaker, author, but the thing about Dan that is so amazing to me is he's traveled the world and spoke to millions and millions of people. For him, it's about service before self. And he is getting an award by the U.S. Air Force on February 3rd. Is that right? Is that correct? And it's the first civilian award. And it's based on three things. One is service before self. What are the other two, Dan? Okay. Anyway, they're amazing, and he's getting this award because he knows why he's here. He's inspiring people, but for him, when he goes to the airport and there's a guy in the military that's getting on the plane, he'll give his first class seat up to the military guy. That's who he is. He knows his why. He's living it every day. And when we know our why, our life becomes a lot better. So I'm so excited to share this story with you. Heather is my amazing friend. She lives in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Heather was in Rome with her husband, who's deaf. They were at the Deaf Olympics when Luke, in the middle, was born. His mother was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and she did not want him, and she abandoned him at the hospital. So Heather came to the hospital a couple weeks later and overheard her friend, another nurse, say, "Who would ever want this child? Nobody would ever want this child with all of his physical problems." And Heather, in that moment, she knew what her why was. And she adopted Luke. She also adopted Carlene. They have another son from Haiti that they adopted. This son is from another child that they adopted. And Luke, bless his heart, he has severe medical challenges. When he was 8 years old, he got a double lung transplant. Most kids don't live 5 years out of a double lung transplant. He's 6 years out. He's a total miracle. This was him Thanksgiving Day, or the day before Thanksgiving. Sadly, when he goes into the hospital, he's there months at a time. And the crazy thing is, the nearest children's hospital to him is 6 hours away. So there's this guy in his community that has a little plane. He's called Captain Joe, and Captain Joe will fly him all the way to Pittsburgh. Can you imagine not having medical care close to you when you really need it? But the really amazing news is Luke got out of the hospital yesterday, and I'm so excited because it looks like he's going to spend Christmas with his family. But I point this out because Heather is the most amazing woman on the planet. She knows why she's here. She knows it's to love all of these children who may not have ever had an opportunity to be loved. So we have to know our why.